Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, and we are continuing our wonderful show this morning with a bit of a topic, a heavy topic that we all are quite aware of, and we are seeing the community coming together to make a change, talking about the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago and the march against crime that's going to be taking place on Sunday the 10th of December from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. hosted by Project 600. Now in studio with us this morning we have Kevin G. DaCosta, committee member of Project 600, and we also have with us in studio the president, the head of the committee, Issa Mohammed. Good morning to both of you and welcome to the show.
Very good morning. Very glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Natasha. How are you?
Wonderful. It's great to have both of you here this morning, and this is a necessary conversation. And I think something that is so refreshing about this is seeing the community come together. So before we get into how everybody came together, let's talk about Project 600 and where it started and how it started.
Project 600 is a call for 600 volunteers to carry 600 flags to the Queen's Park Savannah.
Right.
Each flag representing a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago who would have lost their life to homicide over the past year. We know there were about 600 last year, and we're going to be close to 600 this year. For us, that number was just shocking.
Yeah.
And I think all of us feel it inside of us that the crime situation right now is different. You know, we've always had crime. Back in the 90s, it was, you know, it was going up and up and up. But you always felt that it's going to get better sometime. Yeah. And this time, somehow it doesn't feel like that. When we see what happened with Andrea Lallan, or we look at what happened with the Peterkin family, well, we're seeing kids now, like innocent children. And this is something we haven't seen before. This level of violence is something that we really haven't seen before. So myself, my wife, my family, I mean, we always speak about it. I think crime is now something that has infused itself into almost every conversation that any two Trinidadians have anymore. It's now so intertwined. I listened to two interviews you guys had here this morning, and both of them, at one point or the other, one, the main focus was crime, and the other one involved crime. Every conversation today in Trinidad and Tobago is about crime.
You know, that's something that's so true. As you mentioned, every conversation. 2 points that stood out to me. First of all, children. Because, I mean, growing up, it was very, very different to what we see now. Growing up, you basically, when the street light comes on, you go inside. And there wasn't that concern. The community also raised children, which I do think is something that we are definitely battling with today. But also the conversation of crime is something that just resonates no matter where you are, what you're doing, what time of day. And we also all somehow, let's say by 3 or 5 people, know somebody that has been affected by crime. So definitely an initiative that I know many are going to be driven towards. And speaking about being driven towards the initiative, Kevin, let's bring you into the conversation this morning. What drew you to become a committee member of Project 600?
One of the committee members had given me a call, and he told me to come have a meeting, Project 600. His name was Marcus Mohammed, but they call him Dan King. He's a producer up by Laventille and John. And I went to the meeting, have a nice conversation with Mr. Issa Mohammed, and they liked my my progressive, what I did in Belmont, when the 4 guys died in early November. And I did a video, and I think it went viral. It went viral all over. I just said, put down the guns, stop the violence, have a heart. And it was a good initiative of my behalf. And from there, everybody started calling me, you know, to come to this meeting, come to that meeting, and that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Well, it's a pleasure to have you and to have you on the show as well. Issa, what has the response been like from the public so far?
Response has been really good. I think a lot of people really want to help, and they want to participate and feel that they're sort of part of it. So we've reached out to a lot of people, and we've gotten a lot of support, and we've gotten a lot of volunteers for the program. But as with everything, there's 2 sides of it. And so you have the pushback, and you have the cynical approach, and you have the naysayers. You know, what is this going to accomplish? And we've had marches before. And you know, there's a point I just want to say there, that everybody mentions Stephen Cadi's march. And the thing about it is that march was 18 years ago.
Imagine.
It was 18 years ago. And I want to make 2 points about that. Number one is that It's 18 years ago and everybody's still talking about it today.
Yes.
So don't tell me that these things don't matter, because this has lodged itself into our societal memory. That's number one. And number two, the way that crime has gone in this country, we should have had 18 marches, not one 18 years ago, and another one today. We've sort of lost our voice as citizens, and I think this needs to rekindle that civic participation, that responsibility that belongs with the people. And I think too often we want to pass that responsibility on to others. No, the people have a role to play in this, in terms of making this thing better. So our call on this march is not, you would think a march is about the government or whoever. Look, every stakeholder in Trinidad and Tobago needs to turn and face this situation, every single stakeholder. So we are saying the religious organizations need to make changes. The sporting organizations need to make changes. And I'm saying here, not just keep doing what you're doing or do more. I'm saying that what we're doing right now is not working. Everybody needs to face that and say we need to do better. The business community, when the sporting organizations and the community organizations commit to doing more, the business community has to support that, or they won't go. It wouldn't go anywhere. This has to function with the entire society. The police service has to make changes. We all know there are bad eggs in the police service. They need to commit to getting that sorted out and provide the protection for the community organizations and the sporting organizations on the ground. And it all has to be led from the top, from the leaders and the politicians. So we're saying that this has to involve the entire society. And we're saying that what we're doing right now is insufficient. And everybody has to commit to turning to face this thing head on.
This is something that is so important. I mean, one of the things that I'm hearing through you is really the power of community and the fact that it's not necessarily something that we have allowed to grow and develop with us as we've developed as individuals as well. And this is the beginning of bringing that shift back of awareness into Trinidad and Tobago and into ourselves, and possibly removing that feeling of apathy that in many ways really is rife throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Now, viewers, you would have just seen on your screen Project 600, the March Against Crime, all of the information. It's happening on Sunday, the 10th of December from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Now, before we close the conversation, two things I would love to touch on. The significance of the flags and how many flags you're going to have, and also from both of you, please, some closing comments for Trinidad and Tobago. So let's start with the flags first.
The flags are interesting. So it's a white flag with a black stripe. You would see it looks like the national flag of Trinidad and Tobago, but there's no red, because the red is the blood of the people that have drained away. Each flag represents a victim of homicide, and that blood is now gone. We're left with just the black and the white. And that's the flag that represents the hurt and the pain that we feel about the situation that's going on. 600 flags, each one of them representing one of the victims of crime.
Definitely something that is going to resonate with many throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Kevin, do you have any closing comments and words for the nation?
First, I just want to say, for Trinidad and Tobago, let's bring back the love we used to have. Enough is enough. Let's put down the guns. Let's stop the violence. You must have a heart. And I just want to say, everybody's come support on March 10th.
Definitely.
Road of the crime.
Definitely at 3 p.m. Isa.
I would just like to remind everyone that we as citizens, we have that voice, we have that strength, and we have that power. But we need everyone to come together to show it and to demonstrate it. And if we do that, we could empower all those good people in our community who want to work to make things better. By us coming together and showing that support, we give the entire country the motivation and the mandate and the encouragement to turn and do better. So please join with us.
Definitely. Well, Isa Mohammed, Kevin G. DaCosta, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And thank you for the stand that you are taking in bringing us together to some sort of conscious state of mind. Project 600 is taking place on Sunday, the 10th of December from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Come out and support and stand in solidarity for change. Stay tuned. The birthdays are coming up right here on the Now Morning Show after these messages.
Them gunmen gonna shoot.